SimplyScuba presents the Deco Stop podcast.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Deco Stop podcast. So I am lone wolfing it this week. Normally, when one of us is busy, one of us is on holiday, we basically cancel the show. Well, not cancel it, but we postpone it till like next week because this show is all about the bands. But obviously, if you've watched Ask Mark, the latest episode of Ask Mark, I do mention that we've got a rather big announcement that's going to be made, so I thought I'll just step in and do the show myself. So it's not going to be as long as it normally is. I'm going to go through the motions like we normally do, and then just go from there. And when it comes to the question, guys and girls, we're going to do something, well, I say something rather cool, something interesting. We're going to give my thoughts on whatever the question is, but I'm going to pass it over to you, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So before I talk about the big announcement of what's actually happening, I want to just quickly run through the usual website updates. So obviously our website, SimplyScuba.com, we've had a small Cressy drop, so if you like the brand Cressy, we've got a new restock and some bits and bobs of that now in stock. Also QB and Aqualung have had a restock, so all you need to do is go to our website, click on the new in, and that will show you all the new in bits that have either been actually new in or have been restocked, which is cool. And also as well, like Mark has mentioned the previous couple of episodes, we've got Garmin obviously in stock, the Descent watches or dive computers, but also as well we have Mara's. Now the Mara's dump, as I like to call it, is absolutely massive, so there is still new Mara's products going live on the website to date. So so go head over to our website, click on new in, and then you'll see all the new in Mara's gear as well, and that's probably going to be doing that for another couple of weeks. And like Mark obviously always says as well, that we do have extended returns, so if you are buying for Christmas or you're getting things a little bit earlier, because the world will probably go in a panic mode, but basically the extended returns is from the 16th of January, so you don't really need to worry. Like if you buy something now, you have till the 16th of January to return the product. So if you are getting Christmas presents, the pressure is off when it comes to potentially returning them. So that's pretty cool. So before I do the social updates, let's talk about the big announcements, because they kind of link into it. So I myself, Sean, have been working on the SimplyScuba channel in the previous version for around about maybe 5 or 6 years. A couple of years prior to that, I was doing other things for the company, and obviously for just over a year in the new version, obviously the new company that purchased SimplyScuba. So after 6-7 years, I guess, I'm stepping away from everything. I've got a new job, so I will no longer be producing, editing or filming any videos or doing social posts or scripting for SimplyScuba as of the 26th of November. So it is sad to go, but like with many things in life, you've got to one, think of yourself, and two, you know what I mean, when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. I'd like to be obviously having this conversation with Mark, so probably next Deco Stop we'll have a conversation about I don't know, a general catch-up and stuff like that. But I thought it best to let people know now at the beginning, because it actually does affect the videos and the social stuff that's going to be happening within the next week or so. Basically, the changes that are going to be happening to YouTube have been brought forward. So the changes that I'm going to talk about in a minute were meant to be happening in January and February time anyway. We were going to refocus the channel. But now, obviously, with me leaving, we're starting that little bit earlier. So then the new team that's going to take over, whether that's going to be Mark, again, I'm not a part of that process. Obviously, Mark is going to be involved. He is the face of the channel. It would be a bit weird if he wasn't, but that's for the new people to do. But to give them a good start, we're just going to start filming things now and editing things now, so then they've got a bit of time to think about what they're going to be doing moving forward. My last day is on the 26th of November, so my last probably thing or media piece that I will be going live on, I guess live is a bit of a different, will be the Deco Stop podcast. But I thought I'd just let you guys and girls know now because of the changes. So let's talk about social channel updates and the changes. So like I said, things are having to be brought forward due to myself leaving. So there is no longer going to be any voting for surface interval for the foreseeable future. We are going to basically, I guess, stockpile, but we're basically going to film what kind of, back in the day when we kind of first started doing these evergreen types of videos, the fun videos, the lists type videos, we obviously never got you guys and girls to vote for them. We just kind of came up with the idea, or we had a list of titles and then we'd create them. So what we're doing, we're going back to that. And what that means is Mark and the new team have got a bit more time to, get things sorted. So yeah, basically we're going to be pre-filming them, and with the surface interval, it will be myself that is going to be presenting them, and those videos will be running until the end of January. And again, that's the whole new team, depends on whether they carry surface interval on. But yeah, so obviously Mark filmed one that was going to go live today on our YouTube channel, and that's going to be the last surface interval with Mark for the foreseeable, or definitely for the rest of the year. And then the rest will be filmed by yours truly. So yeah, wait for that. That's going to be interesting, me trying to say dive site names and stuff. But I'm very excited by that. But that's not the only thing that's happening. In January, I had an idea, or should I say we had an idea, to basically answer Google's questions about scuba diving. So obviously, using Mark's amazing knowledge about scuba diving, we were going to, do a video series based on that, and that was going to be its own thing. But what we're going to do now, we're bringing that forward, and we're going to run that within surface interval. So 1 week you're going to get like an Ask Google, that's kind of the tag that we're calling it at the moment, and then the next week you're going to get a surface interval. So it won't purely be every Saturday, won't purely just be me, it will be a runoff between myself and Mark, and alternating basically every Saturday for those videos. But like I said, that means that we can extend the surface interval and the Ask Mark, we can extend that type of video, the evergreen videos. So then that gives the new team time to analyze things and, just see what they want to do going forward. So yeah, that's exciting. So obviously Mark's not going anywhere. It's just that surface intervals will be run by me and presented by me, written by me, and obviously Mark will be doing the more important Ask Google stuff, which I'm very excited for. It's a really cool project that I really, really wanted to do. Hence why I said to Mark, we should bring this forward because it's going to help you guys out. And then, yeah, if it does really, really well, obviously, they can continue it on, which is really, really cool. So because of the changes as well, basically going forward, one of the plans for 2022 was to really make the channel more tech based. So the way that we wanted to do it was make it more of a not an unboxing, not like the unboxing therapy, but more like a Marcus Brownlee type style of video. So we're going to go more of the tech, which aligns more within our website. So because of that, the dive brief and the deep dive are going to change. So the deep dive is a fantastic advice series, but that season 1, the first season, will end on the 7th of November. And then I'm sure they'll bring that back for season 2 as of next year. Again, that team have got to sort that out on, what the next steps are. So because of that, the dive brief, which obviously links to our website, and that's, general product advice and stuff like that. Now that is going to replace the Sunday slot. So dive brief as of next week will be on Sundays, and the deep dive season 1, like I said, that's finished, but I'm sure they will bring that back in next year, which is really, really cool. So yeah, obviously that's going to bring questions over Ask Mark. Obviously Ask Mark is a really nice setup, but again, it all depends on the workload that Mark and the new team have. I believe they're going to keep the show. It will be very, very silly of them. Well, not silly, it would be a shame, should I say, that they get rid of Ask Mark, but it all depends on which avenue they go down and what people's new role are within the marketing and the media department of SimplyScuba. So personally, I don't think they should get rid of it. It would be a shame. I don't think they will, but maybe where obviously it's weekly, it might be any once a month or every other week. Again, I don't know about that. I can't wait to watch Ask Mark in the future as a subscriber rather than a presenter. But yeah, and again, the plan was in January anyway with the new style of videos sorry, my screen went off there. That basically Mark will be shooting it solo anyway. So that was the plan. I was going to step back in January and let Ask Mark become purely Mark himself, rather than the silly banter that we have. The silly banter was always going to go back onto the podcasts or more light-hearted videos. That was kind of the road that we were going to go down. So it was going to happen anyway. I wasn't going to be involved, or I was going to be involved. Obviously, I would film and I would edit them, but it would purely be Mark on screen. So again, that's something that was going to happen anyway. It's just being potentially brought forward. But yeah, the only thing that's going to change there, it probably won't be weekly for some time. But yeah, obviously, everyone's got to adapt and change about what's going to be happening. And also as well, that's the general update. So yeah, like I said, Surface Interval is going to be every other week. And that's going to be presented by myself up until January. So you still have me on the channel in January, even though I'm leaving this month. It's all going to be pre-recorded, pre-filmed, pre-edited and scheduled up. So you will see my beautiful face, my ugly mug, until the end of January. So yeah, you can't escape me just yet. So sorry about that. But again, that's going to interlink with a new show, Ask Google, which we were going to start filming next year. But it makes way more sense to bring that forward. And again, if that does really, really well, then they'll probably continue with that. Again, it all depends on what's going on. Deep Dive Season 1 officially ends the 7th of November, and that will be replaced with the Dive Brief, which is obviously now going to be moved to the Sunday slot as well. And Ask Mark, hopefully they'll continue it, but it all depends on the workflow. So yeah, they're the updates to go forward for YouTube. As well as, obviously, the first Scuba Tips has been well received. So the first Scuba Tips video went live on Tuesday this week, and it's gone down a storm, which is really, really good. So we've got 8 episodes already filmed up. So season 1 has already been filmed, has already been wrapped. That's already and waiting in the back end of YouTube to go live. So that will be live up until the 21st of December. And then again in the new year, they'll probably work on season 2. But again, like I've been saying, it all depends on what the team have and the work process that they have to get that filmed. But yeah, Scuba Tips is doing really, really well. And that's just the first episode. So thank you to everyone who's been watching that. Thank you to all the comments and people enjoying what that series is about. There's a lot more to come. So yeah, just wait for that. So that's YouTube. Instagram, I'm going to say the usual. If we can try and get 7,000 followers by the end of 2021, that would be fantastic. And we are really trying to push 10,000 followers by the end of 2022. Again, it's a personal project. I took over the Instagram yonks ago, and I've always found it hard to try and get the right flow, and we have found it, or I've found it, which is fantastic, which is 90% evergreen, inspirational posts to obviously a bit of product. Now, it has been a bit heavy, product heavy over the past couple of weeks. That's purely for the fact that we've got Mara's, and we're all excited about showing all the Mara's stuff. But again, the response to that has been fantastic. So the growth is fantastic. If we can get to 7,000 followers over on our Instagram page by the end of 2021, I know that would be great. That would be an icing on the cake. Even though I won't be within the company by the end of that year, it will be nice to see the 7,000, and it would be amazing to see the 10,000 followers by the end of 2022. That will be brilliant. So if you don't follow us or subscribe to us over on Instagram, you're going to find the link below if you're watching this on YouTube, or just head over to Instagram, type in SimplyScuba, and bam, you will see us. So yeah, please give us a follow if you want to get inspired by scuba diving, all types of scuba diving, free diving and snorkeling, as well as a bit of product update as well. Please go and follow us over there. And lastly, for the social updates, social channel updates, the podcast. So with all the changes that's going on, obviously the Dive Brief, Surface Interval, and now Ask Google, they're all going to be basically there. So they're all going to still be going live, and you know what I mean, like especially pre-recorded. So the Surface Interval and the Ask Mark stuff, where we're filming that pre-live, and getting everything scheduled, that will be going live until the end of January. Dive Brief will probably be the same. The only one, obviously, with the asterisks is going to be Ask Mark, because I don't know the story or the structure. We're going to be filming that up until my last week. It'll be myself and Mark. We'll keep the bands there, but yeah, whatever they decide to do afterwards will be afterwards basically. And hopefully as well, the Deco Stop will continue as well. So it's a nice passion project I brought in back in the old version of SimplyScuba. The Deco Stop was produced by myself, and obviously it was a conversation piece between Mark and our fellow other scuba diver Greg, who still works in the newer version of the company, but he's a very busy boy doing other bits and bobs. So potentially there are talks of bringing it back, bringing some other scuba divers in, so it's more of a conversation, more of a chat like it was there. So not necessarily website updates, or definitely not social updates. It's going to be more of a conversation piece, which I'm really, really excited about. So the last episode with me will go live on the 27th of November. I will be shooting that obviously on the 26th, on my last day, for it to go out on the 27th as a podcast, and then the 28th of November up on YouTube. So that's exciting. So yeah, there are big changes happening. I'm very excited to see what the guys and girls do after myself, after me leaving. It's going to be nice to have a look at things from a subscriber, a follower, a fan of the channel, other than an editor and a producer and a writer of the channel as well, and a presenter, I guess, asterisks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, let's move on to Scuba News. So Mark actually had a list of Scuba News stuff. So Scuba News articles for him to talk about. So I haven't altered anything there. I'm going to just crack on with them, but we're going to read it live. So I've not seen these articles, but yeah, we can discuss them. I'm going to talk about them. And then, yeah, if you want to open up a conversation about it, obviously, please do over on this version on YouTube. Then we can have a conversation about the news stories. Just bear me 1 second. I'm just going to have a nice slurp of my coffee. All right, let's get into the news. So the first two stories don't look like they're very positive ones, which isn't very nice. So the first story is from Diver Net, and basically a golf ball diver sadly has passed away. So the man, who was in his 50s, had been diving with a friend. They will be diving at the golf lake regularly. It's one of those things, as they collect golf balls as a part of a charity initiative. So then obviously they go in, get the golf balls out of the lake, they clean them up, and then they get resold, and then the proceeds to that obviously goes to charitable good causes. And unfortunately, in the Hilton Belfast, this accident happened in the afternoon on the 26th of October, and basically it turns out that they were in the lake and they have sadly passed away. There's not much details, obviously it's still early days. So police, ambulance and fire and rescue services responded to a 999 call, which was made around 2 p.m. on the 26th of October. The diver's body was later recovered from the water, and the other diver, his diving buddy, was understood to be uninjured, which is good. There are no details as of yet about how the person died or how this incident happened, due to them being an ongoing investigation. But yeah, even diving for golf balls, you can unfortunately have a fatal incident. So even if you think, oh yeah, it's just a lake, it's fine, just be careful, please. You know what I mean? It's just, the sport itself is amazing, but unfortunately the more accidents there are, the more deaths there are, news outlets, and we're going to be talking about it, and it just paints the rather safe sport as being, quite a dangerous one. But yeah, just take care out there. But I'm sure once there's more updates about that, about this incident, we will go forward. Obviously, we will mention it in, Deco Stop in the future. So the next story is again, sadly, another scuba diver who's dying, or who had died. Unfortunately, he was found in the water unresponsive, and people went into the water to basically pull him out in the Sydney South at Cornell National Park. He was pulled out unconscious of the water. CPR was conducted until the paramedics arrived, but they could not resuscitate him, and sadly he has died. And again, as of recording, this person has not been identified, so they don't know who he is, and it's an ongoing investigation. Basically, the ambulance team have said the bystanders did an incredible job at keeping him vital, or his vitals, alive as the ambulance was getting there. So they have high praise for the bystanders again, so we all do anyway. That's a fantastic job, so well done. But it is a very sad scene for everyone that's involved, obviously due to the scuba diver dying. So again, that's all being prepared by the coroner. That's all going in it's all going in an investigation, very much just like the golf ball diver as well. So when there's an update on that, I'm sure that we will talk about that as well. So there are two rather sad stories. So the next story that Mark has selected is, let's have a look there. So deep sea divers help solve a century-old U-boat mystery. Okay, that's pretty cool. So in the UK summer, British divers helped solve a century-old U-boat mystery. So they were working with the Royal Navy and examining wrecks off the English coast. They helped confirm the sub's identity and that one of the subs that was found near France sunk during World War One. So I'm guessing... Yeah, they didn't. So deep sea diving experts working for the British Royal Navy recently helped submarine historians solve a century-old U-boat mystery. In 2024, World War I era German submarine was discovered at the bottom of the English Channel. Experts narrowed it identified down as one of 2 U-boats, but until this summer, nothing had been confirmed. Okay, so basically, they found this U-boat. They didn't really know what it was, and they've now found out what it is, which is really, really good. So let's have a look. So expedition was led in June by deep sea diver Steve Mortimer and his wife, and a US Michael Lowry, who is a US based naval historian. They enlisted the help of a larger crew, including 2 Royal Naval civil servants and diving experts, Dr. Fran Hockley and Dominic Robson, who are retired Army corporals and a lieutenant corporal. So yeah, they basically drew up this task in June this year, and now they have finally confirmed the boats. So the U-boat experts found it was wrecked in 2004. That was actually near the port of Calais. That's pretty cool. I'm just trying to read if they actually say what it is. So they believe that it is the U-95. So basically, the U-boat 95, that's basically what it's been discovered as. So yeah, that's quite cool, this mystery. They found it in 2004, and it's just nice that they've closed the book on that chapter. They know exactly what U-boat that is. So well done, team. We need more people heading out to the waters and getting that right, and really discovering and noting what wrecks are in our waters. So good job, team. This one's pretty cool. So Indonesian divers discovered treasure from enigmatic island of gold. So archaeological evidence of the Sriwijaya, cannot pronounce that, empire, but it finds, they basically have found a mysterious civilization. So the Musi River, that's where they found it. They found gold rings, beads, and other artifacts that may be linked to this empire, which is controlled by sea trade across large swaths of Asia between the 17th and the 11th century CE. So the last 5 years, they've been finding lots of stuff in this river. But yeah, this seems to be the biggest haul of treasure to date, which is fantastic. So, previously they found gems, temple bells, mirrors, lots of statues. So it's nice to see that they've actually found gold and beads and all that sort of thing, which is going to relate back to the how the empire, and the people that lived in that era, lived in what they wore and stuff. So that's really, really cool. So yeah, lots of discoveries. So a U-boat, and now they've been finding more about some other, what do I want to say? What's the word? Civilizations that they thought to be lost. So that's fantastic. So I'm guessing now that they've found those things, they're going to obviously bring it back, and there's going to be more reports, so hopefully they can find more things. So hopefully it's the start of another expedition to find even more cool things about a civilization that we thought to be lost, which is really cool. Anyway, before I have the next story, I'm just going to have another slurp of my coffee. So if you're still listening to this, by the way, thank you ever so much. You have lots of patience. As I said, there's not much banter. I can't really be too much banter between myself. So yeah, thank you. So the last story that Mark has selected for us to talk about was a US submarine was struck an underwater mountain last month. Okay. So an undersea collision that injured 11 crew members of a US nuclear-powered submarine last month was caused by an uncharted seamount which is also known as an underwater mountain. So the USS Connecticut, a Seawolf class fast attack submarine, hit the unidentified object in the international waters of South China on the 2nd of October, resulting in moderate to minor injuries at the time. The Navy did not specify how much damage the vessel suffered. The sub was able to power its way to the port of Guam by travelling on the ocean's surface. So the investigation found that Connecticut grounded on an uncharted seamount, the 7th Fleet said in a statement. So basically they just collided with something. Cool. I mean, that's cool. The fact that it's uncharted and stuff means that they might go back to the area and chart it so they know exactly what they hit and what damage they potentially have done to the seamount. Because that's all I'm really worried about. I don't care about this submarine, this man-made submarine. I'm sure it's cost millions to probably repair it, but I want to know if they've made actually any significant damage to the ecosystem where that struck. But yeah, so NOAA says that it's larger deserts, tundra, and there's nothing really there. But yeah, so they did a boo-boo. Their radar obviously wasn't working very well, and then they struck an underwater mountain, which I think sounds cooler than a seamount, let's be honest. Seamount's cool, but underwater mountain sounds cooler. Yeah, so that's the news stories. I've completely and utterly skimmed over them, but at the end of the day, it's always good to tangle with two, and it's just me. And obviously I went into those stories blind as well. I thought that would be fun, and it kind of was. But yeah, anyway, swiftly moving on. So Mark normally has his product of the week. So I'm going to do a product of the week. And my product of the week is actually something really, really simple. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about dive computers or regulators. That's not really my forte. But something simple that every diver needs is a bag. So I'm going to be talking about the Fourth Element Expedition Duffel 60 litre. Now, 60 litres is a really nice size for all your gear. I have a 60 litre duffel for my hiking gear, for storage, and, you know, from going back and forth, just slinging it in the car as well. And 60 litres is really, really cool. It's a nice, tough and durable, lightweight PVC bag, duffel. It's got compression straps, so once your gear's in there, you know, you compression the compression straps, and, you know, it's just going to keep everything into place. It's a duffel bag, yes, but it's heavy duty. I believe it's got ripstop material on it, and you can basically knock it to bag. Basically, in the hiking world, we have the North Face duffel bag. Now, those bags are solid. You will see them everywhere. Every hiker, every adventurer, from locals to even climbing Everest, will have that bag. And this is basically the scuba diving version of that bag, the Expedition Duffel. And again, it comes in a bright blue and a bright orange. I quite like the blue, but I think the orange is a good all-rounder. That's going to stand out on there. Obviously, being a duffel, it's water resistant. It's not waterproof. So if you are on the surface, if it's on a boat and they're splashing, it will keep your gear dry, because I believe, the zips themselves have got a flap to them, so that's going to, be splash resistant, stuff like that, which is really, really cool. You've got loops on the outside, so you can hook things off of, and you also have straps as well, so you can wear it and carry it like a rucksack. Like I said, it's a pretty standard thing, but they are fantastic, and it's made by Fourth Element, so you know that you can literally drag the bag to hell and back and you'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, go check that out. The link is going to be pinned in the comments below on YouTube, and if you're watching or listening to this on SoundCloud, you'll be able to find that down below as well. That's going to be linked in SoundCloud somewhere. So that's product of the week, Fourth Element Expedition Duffel. I've blabbered on. I blatantly did not do enough justice. I know Mark likes to go on about things, but yeah, it's a fantastic bag, high quality. It's going to do the job that you need. And if you don't want a North Face bag as well, you want to stand out a little bit, yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to go for. So normally, after the product of the week, we go into question of the week, or this week's question. Now that's when I give, I talk a question to Mark, and then he obviously talks about said question. Sorry if you can hear my little one. He's having a good old giggle at the moment. It's fantastic. Anyway, so normally, I relay a question over to Mark and then he answers it. Obviously, I'm not going to do that this week, but what I am going to do is I'm going to mention the question, and I'd like to hear your thoughts below. So again, head over to the YouTube channel. This podcast will be live on Sunday morning, and then let me know your thoughts about this question. But what I will do is probably just mention potentially my notes and my bits as well. So the question is, what is the next big step for dive computers? So this is kind of trailing on, obviously we now feature the Garmin the Descent on the website. It's been long awaited that we get that dive computer, but we finally have it, and it is a groundbreaking dive computer, so that's quite a big step. But what is the next big step for dive computers? Obviously in our Smart we talk about heart rate monitors. I think personally that's going to be a really big step. The more data that you have for how your body is reacting in the water, meaning the algorithm of the dive computer can be more accurate to, how safe your dive can be. I think it's going to be a massive win. And I believe the Garmin Descent is the future. This is the way that dive computers should be going. It should be almost like a program. The scuba diving algorithm should be installed onto a smart watch. This is definitely the way things are going with dive computers, which I think is really, really cool. It just means that actually the general public can have a dive computer and potentially not realize it. But again, it will get them thinking, they might buy a Garmin and it's got the cycling app, it's got the running app, it's got the triathlete, functionalities. But then it goes on to scuba diving and they're like, oh wow, this could actually go scuba diving, wicked, let me look up scuba diving as the next sport. Because again, if you use that watch every single day, that feature is going to be showing up. So I think it's going to put scuba diving certainly on the mind of people that potentially might not have thought about scuba diving before, which I think is fantastic. But what is the next big step? So it's going, heart rate monitors I think is going to be a win. It's going to be less technical dive computers like the Terric or like the old school dive computers. It's going to be more small, active watch, smartwatch based. I think that's the future. But what else can they do within dive computers? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, if you are listening to this, you can't really write down your comments. But like I said, Sunday morning, 10 a.m., this podcast goes live over on YouTube. So go over there, type in your comments, and what do you think the next big step is for dive computers? I would love to hear your thoughts. And what we will do next week, we'll look at those comments, as long as people actually comment on there, and we'll discuss things further. So yeah, it's just opening up this week's question of the week. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. And with that, obviously, that's going to be the end of the show. Like I said, it's going to be short, it's going to be sweet. Now, normally when one of us is off, like I said, we don't normally do it, but I thought because I obviously mentioned a big announcement on Askmark, it had to be done. I didn't want to, leave until a week later just to annoy people. We're not clickbaiting people there, so I just wanted to get the announcement up and running. Also, again, because the changes that are happening actually start as of next week, so it's a pretty swift, pretty quick turnaround with what we're doing, but we have to do that basically. I only have so much time left, so I want to make sure that when I leave, everything is all in order for Mark and the rest of the team, but then also as well for you guys, the viewers. The fact that you're going to be getting some new videos is fantastic, mixed in with some old ones up until the end of January is amazing. So I just wanted to make sure that I was leaving the channel off on the right foot for everyone basically. So outro. So obviously, podcast, you got to follow us, you got to subscribe, and you got to rate us wherever you can. I believe the only rating at the moment is Apple, but yeah, if you can go and give us a 5 stars, that'd be fantastic, and write a little comment about the Deco Stop and generally all our other podcasts, because obviously our podcast isn't just one podcast. It's not just Deco Stop. Obviously you have Dive Brief, Surface Interval, Ask Mark, as well as a deep dive as well, or for the foreseeable deep dive. There goes live the podcast. So yeah, please follow us, subscribe us, and rate us, and leave us a comment wherever you can on the podcasts. The road to 10,000 on Instagram, like I said, it's super important. We want to get 10,000 followers over on our Instagram by the end of 2022. So please go over to Instagram, type in SimplyScuba, and go follow us over there. As soon as we hit the 10,000 mark, it means that we can have more interaction within the Instagram page. So more links to videos, more links to products, more links to blogs. It just opens up a lot more functionality for us that we would like to start using. So yeah, please go follow us over on Instagram. And as well, if you are listening to this podcast on YouTube and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I know it's a task next year that the guys and girls really want to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I would love to have been a part of that system, of that celebration. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll come back to celebrate that. That would be great. We were hoping for that to happen this year, but I think COVID and obviously the hiatus that we had last year for 6 months basically was just a massive setback for us. But hey if that happens next year, maybe they'll invite me back to celebrate. That will be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so go follow us over on or subscribe to us over on YouTube as well to get to 100,000. Obviously, we have the website, SimplyScuba.com. So for all the latest and the greatest scuba diving products, head over to there. Do a bit of shopping over there as well. It all helps us out. And again, we obviously have our own store, Springs, which, all of that money goes towards our YouTube channel and production costs. So yeah, please go buy a t-shirt, sticker, whatever you want over there. And if you use the promo code Surface15, you'll get 15% off of your order. That's Spring. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, the banner for all our products is below the video. And if you're listening to this at the podcast, again, just head over to our YouTube channel and then click on one of our videos and you'll see the Springs banner there for you to browse our cool t-shirts and whatnot, and then hopefully make a purchase. If you are on a website and you cannot afford or you don't want to splash out, say, on a 500-600 quid BCD or regulator, you want to break up the payments, you can by using Klarna. They have lots of features that you can use, like 3-month payments where you don't actually make there's no interest on the payment. So you just, when you purchase the product, you lay down your first payment and then you've got 2 other payments to make over 2 months. And, so it helps spread the cost. And Adyen as well. So Adyen is more of a back end thing, but basically it encrypts and it secures all your payment details. So if you do shop with us, your data, your information is all safe and secure thanks to Adyen. And another thing that's really cool that Mark doesn't normally mention at the end of this is our warehouse. So our warehouse is eco-friendly. So we're always concerned about the environment and all that sort of thing and plastic pollution. But our warehouse uses biofuels. It has reusable energies, and the roof itself is solar powered. So because of those systems, our warehouse, our carbon emissions are down by 93.5% as of recording this podcast, which actually makes us one of the most greenest warehouses in the world. Definitely, we are leading in the UK and potentially in Europe. No other warehouse has the facilities that we have and actually cares about the environment like what we do. We have a sustainability chapter in the company as a whole, because obviously we're not just Simply Scuba, we're Surf Dome, Dirt Bike, can't even say it, whatever, Dirt Bike Bits, that's it. We're linked to a much bigger, we're just a branch of a rather big tree. So the warehouse, which is central to all those businesses, is super eco-friendly, and they're responsible with plastic. So if you get a garment that is in plastic, that plastic will be recyclable, so you can go and put that in your recycling, whether that's going to be your general recycling or, the kind of the plastic bag. You have to go to a station or your local supermarket to recycle them, but they can be recycled. If the plastic cannot be recycled, it doesn't go out. All our packaging is biodegradable, cardboard, all that sort of thing, to try and reduce that. And we're also trying to reduce the general packaging for the product as well as how we ship it out to reduce the overall size of things. So obviously it's a given. You order something from, I don't know, Amazon, it's 2 batteries or whatever, and it comes in a massive box. Obviously, although the box is made out of cardboard, which is really good, that space that it's taken up on the delivery driver's van just means that, if that was smaller, they could have got more product in the van. So then that means potentially there would be no other van or additional van going out. So we're very reactive, or the warehouse is very reactive with how we package and size things as well. So yeah, I thought I'd like to, just mention that. And talking about, helping the environment as well, we are linked with the 2 Minute Foundation. So the 2 Minute Foundation is all about picking up litter, whether it's your local park, your local hiking trail, your local beach, and I do believe they are working They are working on an ocean cleanup as well, which is fantastic. So we are linked with that foundation. So it's definitely worth going to check them out. They do have an app called the Beach Clean app. So download that. It works very much like Instagram. You take pictures and I think geolocations of where this rubbish that you've picked is, and away you go. Basically, it's just making more and more people aware of the litter that is in their area. And they also do fantastic things like A-boards. So if you live near the coast or a hiking trail, you can request an A-board, obviously filling all the details, and then basically on that A-board they're going to have litter pickers and biodegradable obviously bags and stuff like that, so people can pick up a litter picker, do 2 minutes of litter picking in that area, and then put it beside there, and then it's picked up and collected, which is fantastic. But yeah, go check them out. Obviously the 2 Minute Foundation and Ask Mark. So we are still continuing Ask Mark. It still will be weekly up until the end of this month, and then going forward it's just whatever they come up with. So please use the hashtag Ask Mark. So if you do have a question, scuba diving or whatnot, please type in your question in any comments on YouTube, but use the hashtag AskMark so we can find it, and then we can obviously put it in the show. And if you want to ask me anything as well, obviously I've got another 3 weeks left within the company. If you wanted to talk to me about anything, again, use that hashtag, or use the hashtag AskSean, and then maybe in the final episode of AskMark, maybe there could be some crossover so you guys can answer me some questions. But yeah, that's if you want to. No pressure there, guys and girls. Anyway, I'll end the show there. So if you're still listening to this, that's awesome. Thank you very much. It's a bit weird being a one-man band on a podcast. It's a bit boring, to be honest with you. The Deco Stop was all about bants, and there's certainly not been any bants on there. But like I said, it kind of had to go out. I mentioned it. I mentioned the breaking or the big news on Ask Mark, this episode of Ask Mark. So I thought it wouldn't be fair for us not to film it, to film something. So thank you everyone who's still listening to this. I hope you have a fantastic day. And whatever you're doing right now, I hope you're having fun. That's all that matters. That's all that matters in this world. Hope you're having fun. Anyway, I love you and leave you guys. All right. I don't know why I said that. Doesn't matter. You guys and girls know I'm not very good at ending these things, so I'm just going to end it there. Thanks for watching, guys, or thanks for listening, guys, and stay classy, scuba divers.
The Deco Stop podcast is produced and recorded by SimplyScuba, the UK's #1 dive store. Visit today at simplyscuba.com.